Okay. All right, folks. So now I do believe that we are officially streaming on YouTube. We're going to just go ahead and let this uh, the video lobby here fill up. So what we are going to be doing today is talking about internet computer and what's going on really when it comes down to all of this jazz around the internet computer the last few days. Um, so we're going to be talking about how this is going to mainly just absolutely disrupt DeFi. It's going to get nuts. So without further ado, folks, we are going to just dive right into it and get this show on the road. So, folks, I want you guys to understand something that the internet computer isn't out here to, let's just say, like, disrupt any other chains. It's here to absolutely help whatever chains out there need help. A lot of chains, it's too expensive to store data on chain. And a lot of these chains like Solana and Avalanche, great ecosystems, great communities. You really can't say anything bad about them. But here's the catch, they cannot store data on chain. So this is a big problem because this restricts the freedom to run. It's like a dog on a leash versus a dog being let off on a leash. And when you have data that is, so expensive, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to store data on Ethereum, like we're talking 1 gig for a year of data storage on ETH is like $20 million. It's ridiculous. Avalanche and Solana, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So these dApps and applications, things like that, that are being built on these other chains can absolutely use internet computer to gain that freedom. You want to be totally Web3 free? That's a new term, Web free, Web3 free. We are going to mint that term right now. So I just want to make sure everything's chilling in the stream here on my other monitor. Oh boy. So we've got 15 strong in here. I'm monitoring the chat. Just forfeit. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that super chat. But I just need to make sure everything's going good here. We are going to mint that term. Okay, perfect. So things appear to be coming through smoothly, so that makes me happy. And I am going to look into getting a different camera. But with that said, folks, we have Dfinity dropping this incredible banger of a tweet, folks. This is absolutely crucial to the success of the IC, especially when it comes to DeFi, folks. Right now, there's just no way to use a DEX on the IC, trade your ICP for a stable coin. We've got stable coins that are now entering the internet computer ecosystem. And one unique feature about internet computer, folks, is that it is gas free for the users. So as you use this DEX, folks, this is going to get interesting because as you use the DEXs on the IC, it's all free. So the people that own the DEX have to pay what's called cycles, and they pay that on the back end. So you make a transaction or a trade, whoever owns the dApp pays that on the back end. They'll make up for it by being the market maker and taking a cut of your trade every time you trade back and forth, just like any other exchange. But that's kind of how it works. And when you have chain key Ethereum and chain key Bitcoin and now chain key USDC and USDT, this is great because now you can essentially trade ETH for free. No gas fees. You've got instantaneous or near 1 second finality. This is absolutely amazing. You cannot find this anywhere else. Excuse me, I am parched. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That delicious Diet Coke hits, folks. We got 25 people in the live stream. If you guys could do me a favor and absolutely whoop it up on that like button, that would be much appreciated. We've got Jason in the chat. We've got Bitcoin Renegade, Scott Williams. You're an OG Six Figs. Your channel is what got me interested in ICP over a year ago. Greetings from Alabama. Never been, but it is on my list of places to see. Got a whole bunch of travel planned, folks, for next year. Crazy. Dominic Williams, folks, if you're not familiar with Dominic Williams, he is the creator of Dfinity, Internet Computer. Native is not necessary. We'll be able to use ckUSDC, ckUSDT in a few weeks. So somebody had asked about native USDC and native USDT stables on the IC. And the interesting thing about chain key technology, folks, for all of you guys that are new, is that chain key technology doesn't rely on like a third party like myself to receive like Ethereum from you and then wrap it into a different kind of token. Okay. Chain key Ethereum basically will leave the Ethereum on the Ethereum network. So basically a smart contract has control over that Ethereum on the Ethereum network. It never leaves. So when you are sending, let's just say I wanted to send Ethereum on any other chain other than ICP, I would send my Ethereum to a third party who would then take custody of it, wrap it, and then send it back, a wrapped token back to you. Whenever Ethereum gets sent to third parties or any other crypto gets sent to third parties, this opens up Pandora's boxes for hacking and all sorts of other stuff. So this allows, basically, this is like not in a way wrapping. It's controlling. So Ethereum or whatever crypto is staying on that native network. And that's what makes this really cool. And when we start talking about chain key USDC and chain key USDT and why we wouldn't just create some native stablecoin on the internet computer, it just doesn't make sense to. USDC, USDT, guess what? They've stood the test of time all these years. So, you know, there is a risk that one of these things could go under, okay? I'm talking about USDC and USDT. So, you know, when it comes to trading on the internet computer and DEXs, folks, hit that like button if you're just wandering into the live stream. There is a very interesting DApp out there, folks, and I want you guys to check it out on Twitter at @Kinnick_app. And basically what Kinnick is it's like the Google of the internet computer. So if I wanted to, let's just say, search for like, I don't know, games, you could come up here, type whatever you want, but you can also, folks, you can also, bear with me one second, you can also go ahead here and basically type in whatever you're looking to find. And I mean, you can play Nintendo 64 games on here. So we're not here to discuss this, but you could essentially play like GoldenEye and things like that. But my point being that you can use this to find all these DEXs and things like that. They've got tabs for DeFi. You can see IC Lighthouse is one that I use. I also use another DEX called Sonic. So what I would recommend doing is that if you find a DEX on Kinnick, I would absolutely try to find the legitimate Twitter account and follow the links to their DEX within that Twitter account. Because one thing that you need to know and you need to be careful of whenever, folks, you are navigating Web3 browsers like this, is that anybody could put up a scam, or they could try to basically create a scam IC Lighthouse and just take all your money. So that is a tip that you guys are going to want to use. I never just click on these things and just roll with it. Okay. You just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. So IC DEX is basically a DEX on the internet computer. And as you guys can see, they've got a lot of cool trading pairs here off to the side. But here's the deal, folks. You can't really swap anything into USDC or USDT. They've got some testing going on here, though, which is very cool. So that is awesome. But I love Sonic. This is just a great user interface, things like that. So you can see that you can swap into all these cool different tokens, but there's no stable coins to swap into. So as a trader, that's important to be able to basically set your money aside and see what's going on with the market, and then you can re-enter or whatever. Chain key Bitcoin. So right now, there is over 124 Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network that are basically under the control of the internet computer. That's pretty cool. Let's do the math on it. Bitcoin's at what? Let's just say 43,000 right now. So right now, the internet computer is under control of about $5.3 million worth of Bitcoin. Way cool, right? So we've also got chain key Ethereum, folks, and this is skyrocketing. This is absolutely skyrocketing. We have seen this just get released back on the 5th. So it's like 2 weeks old, less than 2 weeks old. And there was like on the first day, 4.6 ETH got put under control of the internet computer. Now we have 809 Ethereum under the control of internet computer. In one day, we're seeing 1,300 Ethereum in volume. This is great. We're seeing in the last month here, basically 3,600 ETH worth of volume. This is great. This shows me that people are starting to trust ICP, especially in 2 weeks. We've already got almost 1,000 ETH on here. Pretty wild to say the least. I'm just going to check the chat here, see what you degenerates are up to. Thank you, Just Forfeit. Thank you, Bitcoin Renegade, for those super chats. I truly appreciate it. We've got somebody in the house here, and I'm just looking at the chat here. So we've got Token Trekker Crypto, yo, from Thailand tonight. Oh, I love Thailand. Oh my God, I love Thailand, folks. I was in Thailand earlier this year for a couple weeks. I was in Bangkok. I was in Hua Hin. I was all over old Bangkok, the most awesome country ever. And I'm hoping to get back to Thailand in 2024 for a couple weeks as well. So thank you for visiting from Thailand tonight. This is awesome. So with that said, folks, we're going to look into what's going on with the internet computer price, because it is absolutely pumping. We are in rank 19 on Crypto Bubbles, and we have seen internet computer really rip from about, rank 38 down to rank 19 in like the last week. This thing's up 158% on the month, 112% on the week. Oh my goodness. This is just crazy. But we're going to talk about the price here and what's going on right now. So this thing is going to close, folks. It's going to close in 6 hours above the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. This is very bullish. The price would have to drop below $6.60 for it not to close. above this, and this has been huge. And for those of you guys that don't know and are really wanting to talk about the possibility of these crazy astronomical prices ICP could reach, you are in the right spot right now with the right trader. Before we get into this chart, because a lot of times, folks, people will just post this chart of the IC, and it's not fair. I was the one to uncover that FTX rug pulled the ICP token launch. I released this data in April of 2022, folks, and it got tremendous support. Thank you to everyone who supported me when I released this information, because at this time in April of 2022, I was talking about how terrible of a person Sam Bankman-Fried was. And I was catching a lot of flack for it, a lot of flack. And what you don't see on these posts that people make is that you can see right here that this is where basically FTX manipulated the launch from like $90 up to $500, like 4 days before the internet computer even launched. So how did they do this? Well, they used perpetual futures. And what they did was they launched perpetual futures trading on ICP 4 days before the token was even launched. And they bid the price way up. So what happened was when ICP went live, all these exchanges plugged into the futures. All the other exchanges played by the rules except FTX. And what happened was everything went live and got connected. Futures are saying ICP should be at $500. Well, guess what? The exchanges market makers are going to bid that price right up to $500. That's what futures are telling us. And this was a dirty, dirty play by Sam Bankman, the Shankman. Yeah, I should just repost that just forfeit. I think I might do that. And token tracker, yeah, in Bangkok now. I live on the road, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I loved Bangkok, man. Oh my God, it was so cool. Try to do one of those riverboat tours if you haven't. That was awesome. So when we consider price action, folks, that is something that a lot of people just don't show you, and you're just not really exposed to. We've got some absolute banging information here that I'm about to tell you guys on the charts. And this is an absolute incredible feat, getting back to potential patterns that we could possibly be seeing with internet computer. Because right now, there is this absolute, folks, absolute gigantic, and I say gigantic, inverse head and shoulders that could be possibly forming here. Now, my opinion is that we could possibly be seeing ICP set up for this mega move to the upside. And thanks to all the 41 people in here, this is very humbling to me to see this many people in here. I truly appreciate everyone. If you could just do me a favor on your way out from this video, smash that like button or now. But when I look at this, my initial instinct on this weekly chart is that this thing's been pumping to oblivion. It's at 82 points on the RSI. That's very high. Now, theoretically, this thing could pump to 100, but I do think that this thing might need to breathe a little bit. I never thought that we'd see this type of RSI on the weekly this fast, but people are super bullish about ICP. Binance, Coinbase are running out of it on the exchanges. How do you run out of a token? So with that said, price action to me in this relationship to the Ichimoku cloud is pretty far away. And I do think that, you know, this thing could maybe trade sideways and set up for a nice monster push going into the Bitcoin halving. Now, this thing's been printing like the US end of A. It prints money, and nothing can go up forever. I'm not here to try to FUD anything or anything like that, but I'm hoping that we see some sort of crazy inverse head and shoulders pattern like this. And this really could be a catalyst for blast off. So with that said, let's look at this at a little bit higher of a level, because what I just told you, there's a double-edged sword to that as well, because when we look at like the 2-week chart, ICP has just crested over the 50 moving average for the very first time. It hasn't even touched the Ichimoku cloud yet. And when I look at the 2-week RSI, we're sitting at 25 points. Is that 24 points yesterday? So on the 2-week chart, thinking about where this thing is going over the next year, we could easily see this thing ripping up to like 90 points, 100 points possibly, 80. There's just so much room to run on that 2-week chart. It's not even funny. But on the daily, this thing is severely overbought. Doesn't mean that it's coming down anytime soon, but we might be seeing a little bit of some sideways trading momentum here. Now, I've seen a lot of crazy numbers getting thrown around out there, folks, and there is a lot of speculation on what prices could we possibly see. That is the $1,000,000 question, literally. And there's really like one way I like to tackle this question for my own sanity, and that is to like look at previous market caps that have been obtained by other crypto projects, especially during previous bull runs. So right now, I'm just kind of pulling up on my other screen some notes, and we're going to talk about what price, realistically, could we see ICP hit, right? Because when we think about it in terms of like market cap, I can tell you that during the 2021 bull run, we saw Cardano. This was up over $100 billion in market cap. It's sitting at 21 billion right now. I don't remember what rank that thing was, but I do know that the price got very high. And what we need to do is consider like today's tokenomics, and we have to understand that the tokenomics possibly could change in the next year for the better or the worse. We have to understand that tokens could become unlocked or unstaked, and this could impact things. There could be liquidity issues. Like there's all sorts of things to consider when really trying to drive home a price tag for the future. And what I want you guys to do is to have a plan. So say like, we'll just start off at like, let's just start off at like 25 bucks, and what ICP folks would have to do to get to that $25-ish level. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, it is what it is. Let's just go to 50, because I feel like $25 is child's play. So in order for ICP to hit 50 bucks, we need a $22 billion market cap. ICP is at 5.11 right now. So 22 divided by 5.11 leaves us with a 4.5x from here. It's totally doable. And I do think that $22 billion market cap is absolutely obtainable going into the next bull market. This is not financial or trading advice, but that is at the $50 mark. Now let's talk about maybe the $75 mark. What's this look like for the good old internet computer folks? Well, $75 would be roughly $35 billion market cap. So it's somewhere where like, let's just say Binance or XRP's market cap is right now. I want to say this is the beginning of the bull market. I don't want to say it's the end of the bear market. This could be the beginning of the bull market. So right now, that's kind of where we'd have to reach to hit 75 bucks. Now, do I think that $34 billion market cap for ICP in the next bull run is obtainable? I think so. I think it's reasonable. Let's talk about $100 ICP, folks, and where this could really land us. In $100, that would put us at about a $45 billion market cap. So really, it's, you can see how market cap jumps when you get to Tether, Ethereum, things like that. So that would be about half the market cap of Tether currently. When we start thinking about like the next move up, $150, folks. What's up at $150? Do I think that we could see $150 ICP? I do. This is kind of where my confidence in price might start to decline a little bit, and the ability to go higher might start to decline a little bit. Of course, I hope that ICP could climb way past $150. Got to think with the current tokenomics in play, this could all change down the road, and we might be looking back at this video saying, wow, this went way higher. This didn't get anywhere near as close. But this would be about a $68 billion market cap. And like I mentioned, Cardano hit 100 billion the last bull cycle plus. But those were different tokenomics. Those are different times. You guys got to understand that at a high level, right? So with that said, let's talk about the possibility of a $200 ICP. Well, that would be $91 billion market cap. That would be the market cap of Tether at the time of this video, folks. $250. Should we keep going, folks? Should we keep going? $250. We're talking $250. That's going to be $113 billion market cap. Now, do I think that we're going to see that this bull cycle? Man, I tell you what, if ICP runs out in front to like the top 7, 6 or 7, 8, 9 coins here before things like really kick off, man, I don't know. It could get close. I feel like it could get close. But I'm not hinging any bets that it'll make it that high. Let's talk about a $500 ICP. And folks, that would be a $227 billion market cap, which is just a hair less than Ethereum's current market cap. Do I think we're going to hit that mark? When you start seeing people throw around $500, $1,000 ICPs, maybe in time, but it's going to take a long time to get up to that $500 range. When we start thinking about like even higher than that, folks, like 1,000, that would be about $450 billion market cap. $2,000 ICP. That would be Bitcoin's market cap right now. I don't think that's obtainable within the next few years. I don't think that's obtainable within the next 5 years, to be honest with you. I hope so. But you can see, of course, Ethereum might hit $1 trillion market cap this year. I totally think that's going to happen. It might take ICP some time to catch up to that. Is it capable over time? Absolutely. I absolutely think so. I don't want to say when, but it is what it is. For right now, we're going to look at ICP, though, at an extremely high level, one of the highest levels that you'll ever see ICP analyzed at. I can almost promise you that. So what we're going to go ahead here and do is I'm going to walk you guys through this process because I want you guys to walk away with information that you can take and actually understand and possibly explain to somebody why you might be bullish on the IC price action. And again, this is not financial or trading advice, but there is one area of ICP price action early on that I have not the most confidence in, but I'm comfortable with it because it traded sideways within this region for so long. You can see that after FTX turned off their perpetual futures market maker, things just plummeted. So we do have this range here, and we've got some resistance around $87, folks. So with that said, we've got what I would think is some natural resistance and maybe not as influenced numbers as anything previous to this FTX meltdown. And for those of you that are just joining, if you could smash that like button. And earlier on in the feed, I was explaining how you don't see this information here that I dug up on how FTX sabotaged the ICP token launch. You don't see how they drove this price up from $90 to $500. You just don't see it. All you see is this chart here. But they use perpetual futures to achieve that. So with that said, we are going to throw up something called Gone Fans. So we've got a nice local high that is in. And what we are going to do here is snap the chart back. Bear with me. We are going to just kind of zoom in a little bit. Do this one more time. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, folks, if you know anything about Gon and his work, the Gon angles or the Gon fans, Gon boxes, things like that are absolutely an incredible tool to use for trading things like that. So it just is. I need to resnap my screen here to get this perfect. Bear with me. And Gon was under the impression that the markets move primarily in 45-degree angles. And I totally agree with this statement by Gon. I wish he was alive so that I could sit down and have a conversation with him on that. So what I'm going to do is throw up that 45. We are going to throw up another trend line here because what I'm doing now is I'm looking for this intersection here to draw down another trend angle, folks. And I hope you guys are learning something today. I've been trading for a very long time, and I am a very successful trader. To be honest, I can't remember the last time I lost a trade. It's been months. And if I lost on a trade, it was like 1%, 2%. So with that said, folks, we've got a Gon. Where is it? Where's my Gon fan? Right here. So we got a Gon fan and throwing that down right here. All right. So I am just looking at some things here, making sure everything's going orderly in the chats, folks. And I am parched right now. I'm so parched. But what I did was drew down a 45-degree angle, and I used the 1-to-1 trend line on the Gon fan and overlaid that over that 45. So you guys understand that, right? And then what I'm going to do now is come down here and throw up a Gon. Some people call this a Gon extension, but it's just a Gon fan. And so what we've got here is this incredible story of hidden price resistance and support. When we look at this, now I can go ahead and move this all over the place. You can go ahead and like delete your angles. But what we can see is that this 1-to-1 Gon fan line acted as a very crucial, pivotal Gon fan line, folks. And it acted as support and resistance. You can see these Gon fans bounced right off these other fan lines. And you can just kind of see how well price action has interacted with these fan lines. So what do we got going on right now? Well, we've got this amazing opportunity, in my opinion. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. But I do think that we have somewhat of an amazing opportunity to maybe come up to like this $13 range, $15.50 range. On the daily, we have bullish engulfing candles, although this one might not be so much. And if we see this breakdown in price, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if the price of ICP, maybe, this is what I'm hoping happens, kind of rips up, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm hoping that we can see ICP either rip up into this $15, $16, $17 range, and I would love to see this classic, and this would be a classic, and this is all very speculative. This isn't financial or trading advice. But if we see this thing rip up to these levels, we might be gearing up to see some sort of bull pennant. Also, if we can rip up to like this $17 area and maybe form some sort of ascending triangle, folks, along this trend line, that would be great. So we'd want to see something like this occur. You know, going into the end of the year, we could maybe see an advancement into the 30s or something like that. We might be able to see some sort of symmetrical triangle squeeze or something of that nature. I do believe that we are gearing up to see some sort of Elliott wave theory. We're just going to delete all this stuff. You know, one of the things that I love about Elliott wave theory is that you see this all the time. You see this all the time. So I do think that we could be gearing up to see, you know, something of this nature occur on top of all the other patterns and things like that we've discussed during this live stream. One of the rules of Elliott wave theory, folks, is that span 2 to 3 cannot be the shortest span out of this sequence, meaning 0 to 1 by default, span 2 to 3 has to be longer than. With that said, this is kind of an easy thing to do, and we can see that by default, technically, ICP only would have to run up to $6.60. Well, right now, this thing's on a rampage, so it wouldn't surprise me to see this thing maybe kind of skirt back and complete this wave. Right now, wave 2 to 3 is way longer or way taller than wave 0 to 1. So I do think that there is some possibilities here that we see some of these higher price points, especially after this weekly close, which closes in 5 hours. So will we get a retest or some pushes higher? You know, we'll just have to wait and see, folks. This is one of those things where when price action gets so volatile, sometimes it's really tough to discount the fact that we could see price action completely toss technical analysis to the side, folks. And I think right now I am going to conclude today's video on what's happening with ICP. I hope you guys found this fruitful. If you're just tuning in, make sure to go back and watch the earlier stuff we discussed about chain key technology and how it controls assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, how it's going to control USDC, USDT on its native chain. There's no more wrapping. There's no more bridging to third parties that get hacked. Everything stays on chain, on the native chain to boot. So a lot of good stuff in that first 10 minutes of this video. I love you all. If you guys could, please, there's 69 people watching. That's awesome. Now, if we could get that like up to at least 69 or 420, that would complete this video. I love you all, and I'm out. So thank you again for being here with me today. Thank you to the moderators moderating. Appreciate everyone. We will probably go live here later on tonight. So subscribe to this channel, and get the notifications going, because then you'll know when I go live and you can see what's happening in real time, because that's very important, especially when the markets are as volatile as they are right now. But folks, I love you all. I am so parched. And guess what? I'm running low on Diet Coke, so it's time for me to go.